Welcome, everybody. Ralph Havens here, autoimmuneanswers.com. Years ago, I was in San Francisco. I love San Francisco. And I used to go up from San Diego to take classes up there, corner of Bush and Octavio, Central IMT back in the day with my medical intuitive healer. And one of my good friends now was teaching that class. It was on, I think it was on mercury toxicity and how to clear mercury toxicity, clear vaccine damage and out of people and help detox people with a hands-on medical intuitive energetic approach. And I was staying, at that time I was staying with a friend who lived across the bridge, the San Francisco Great Bridge, which is a great bridge, living in Marin. So I was staying there and I was coming into town, into the city to take the classes. And one of the people I knew from San Diego was there, and she was beautiful, just stunningly beautiful. And she was a great person and a runner, and I knew her from San Diego from the running days. And so she was like, Ralph, you should come up and we should go out. We should all go out. So we went out, a bunch of us, her and a few of her friends, and stayed out very late, drank a little gin. Before I knew that gin was not gluten-free unless you get a certain type. And because it was like, man, she's cute. And so, but it's something interesting. There was one of her friends there, and this, one of her other friends from Boston was there too. I think he was visiting, and he was a really cool guy, really nice guy, good guy. And he really liked my friend's friend. And so we were out late and we were having fun and just kind of going to different places. San Francisco is so cool. All the little places you can pop into late at night. What a world. And then afterwards, the next day, I think she was talking to me, my friend, and she said, yeah, she was talking about her friend, the guy, and he just made a terrible mistake. And I was like, what happened? It seemed like it was going really good with him and your friend, the girlfriend. And she said, well, he told her how much he liked her and that he was so glad to be there, and she was so cool, and it was just so fun hanging out with her, and she was so great. And I was like, yeah? She goes, oh, that was the worst move ever. He'll never get a chance with her. He's blown it. And I was like, what? And so I was talking to her more and more, and then I went up to visit her and stayed with her a few times to as a friend, just to like another place to stay while I took classes up there. And so we talked about this kind of thing a bit. And she said, yeah, pretty girls, so many times they just don't feel that good about themselves. And if you treat them real nice, real good, and act and talk to them as if they're really wonderful, they just hate it because they don't feel it on the inside. And so you have to kind of ignore them and just let them chase you and never tell them that you like them. That's like the kiss of death kind of thing to the relationship. And I'm like, oh my God. And that friend was visiting another time in San Diego. And so that was interesting because we all went out to another wine bar, and that's back when I was just starting to date Jen. So that was interesting, having another beautiful woman staying at my house as a friend, and Jen got to meet her, and it's like, oh my goodness, beautiful woman hanging out here. So all sorts of cool dynamics when you're single, right? But we were in a wine bar. It's called Wine Steels. It was a cool place. And my friend from San Francisco was there, and my other friend, a guy, was there, and he for some reason knew how to pick up women. And so, but what he was doing was kind of kidding with her, joking with her, and kind of insulting her. And she was like, what is he doing? I don't understand why he's like being like that. But she was so intrigued. And I was like, oh my God, what a way to go, right? Guy that likes somebody, but that's like the kiss of death to just tell him. And this other guy treating this woman not so well at all, but it intrigues her and she's kind of interested, and she's like, what is this guy all about? It's like craziness, right? So today's session is, I was doing an hour of deep meditation that I do, a very specific version that I found. It's really thousands of years old, to clear blocks to healing and abundance. And it's what I do every morning. do certain, sometimes a shorter amount, sometimes a longer amount. Today was about an hour. And then I did about 45 minutes of my deep wisdom healing Qigong exercises, movement, sound therapy in a very specific way to clear more blocks, to just getting healthier and happier and connecting to spirit and being abundant. And as I was doing it, I thought today's session is for abundance, money. Years ago, I was, I told this to a client just yesterday. I was in the summer between semesters in school, and I was up by Dallas, Texas, Plano, Texas, and with a group of people, and I needed a job. So I got a job across the street because they were building apartments, and I got a job with the painters. So I didn't know how to paint, but they were training me, and I was like a helper, and I would do the caulking and all this stuff. And they were paying me back then, it was a long time ago, $140 something a week. And I felt so unworthy of getting that. I felt just awful. I didn't feel like I was doing a good enough job. I felt like I was just like a failure. I was like, why are these guys paying me so much money to do this work? 40 hours a week and $140 something back then. This was back in the late 70s. And so I quit. And they called me. They actually called me. These painters called me and said, "Ralph, we need you. What are you doing, man? We need you. You're doing great." And I'm like, no. And it was because I felt so unworthy. Like I didn't deserve that. I was not doing a good enough job to collect $140 for 40 hours of work. And so I went and worked at a YMCA day camp for kids for much less. And then I felt comfortable. So today's session is all about abundance. And who would you have to be to truly be abundant? Like if you want a certain amount of money, nothing wrong with wanting money. Money can do a lot of good in the world. If you want a certain amount of money, if you want a certain lifestyle, if you want a certain way to live and really do fun stuff and go get on planes and buy nice clothes and go out to eat in nice places and have fun and take vacations and do good work somewhere. If you want that, what might be in the way of that, So today's session is all about clearing self-hatred. Self-hatred. From my medical intuitive work, that hangs out in the back of the heart. The back of the heart. Can cause headaches, can cause a lot of spiritual pain. And when you're thinking about, your job, or maybe your interview, or trying to get a certain kind of job, or ascending to the next level in your work to make even more money or to have a different life, or finding a partner that's really cool and good looking and you like to look at them and you like to hang out with them and you like to talk to them and they treat you really well. When you think of that, does it bring up any angst? Like, have you ever been in a situation where somebody gives you a really good, heartfelt compliment and you're just like, oh, don't say that? Because it feels funny to get told something when inside there's a self-hatred. So if that's going on, how much abundance can you pour in if all that is going on? You have to, it might be useful to let go of all that self-hatred so that abundance can actually flow in. And one way to find it is what pushes your buttons. Like it's cool. One of the keys to abundance is giving. People that give to charities and to good causes and help people out with money. One of the secrets of that is that it unleashes a lot of abundance for people. But you can give in ways that are codependent. Charging less for your services, your time. It could even turn into charging less for housing for somebody, giving away, letting your son stay in a house for free. It might seem like a good idea, but is there some other deep inner thing that's causing it? So it's not so much the action, right? It's what's the underlying reason. Like me with that painting thing. I've gone through many layers of this. It even showed up when I was in San Diego and we used to do a donation-based day. It was a great day. No paperwork. People came in, put in any money they wanted at the front office. We called it box on the wall day, put money in the box kind of thing. And then do sessions for very little money. But I realized that I was so comfortable in that situation on that day and less comfortable when people were paying me cash. It was in me. I was limiting myself. It was a self-hatred, a self-loathing, a not feeling worthy enough. Like, oh, don't give me that much money. I'm not worth it. So it can show up all sorts of ways. And maybe after this session, after today's video, maybe you'll notice it when it shows up. When it's like, oh, this is a self-hatred. This is a self-loathing. This is not feeling good enough. There's a way to clear that once and for all. Yeah. And let's run all that through your hormones right now because we can. Yeah, what kind of hormones, what kind of happy drugs that your body makes? All the endorphins, all the GABA, all the dopamine, all the serotonin. What kind of happy drugs would be unleashed if you could clear self-hatred? So what you might notice is how you feel after this video, after this session. All of my sessions are encoded. Just hanging out with these sessions, watching them again and again. If you notice how you feel before and how you feel afterwards, you can notice what's different. Abundance, healing. So many people come to me and they want money. Money's cool. You can do a lot of good with money. Yeah, so if you have any buttons around that, if anything around money pushes your buttons, there's a way to clear it. Any of that anxiety around money. Wouldn't it be cool to let that go now? All right, everybody. So let me know how it's going. Let me know what's different after the session. And if you want more of this kind of stuff, I'll put links in the different places. You can find it, ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever. It'd be cool to get rid of anxiety, worries around money, wouldn't it? All right, everybody. Have a great day. And we will talk to you soon. I say we because Jen is always on board with this. One of my secret weapons is that Jen, she used to do it more in person, but now she does it energetically when I'm in different places. She is in this heartfelt space. And if you know Jen or you've interacted with her at all, you know how much heart space she has. It's very, very powerful. A lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes here for you for these sessions. That's why you can have a change simply from the chair you're in right now. So enjoy. Let me know how it's going. See you tomorrow.